Hi everyone, we're MassVax, delivering mass vaccination logistics. MassVax is a software service to manage vaccine distribution for emergency management services. We are a joint venture with Marquette University in Wisconsin. Today, I'm here with Peter, Nick, and I'm Anthony. We want to bring everyone back together again. In order to do that, everyone needs to be vaccinated. But vaccine distribution is a major problem right now. Science News reports actually distributing the vaccines could be the biggest challenge yet. And there are plenty more of these articles. Emergency management coordinators are having problems distributing vaccines due to current systems crashing under load, fragmented solutions that require jury-rigging different tools together, and manual record keeping. Coordinators need to report vaccinations to state immunization registries within 24 hours. Many are doing this manually, which will not scale as the number of vaccinations does. MassVax provides a solution with reliable registration that will not crash, a complete solution that is simple to set up and use, and automated record keeping, handling integration with immunization registries automatically.
During our customer discovery process, we found that one of our biggest competitor systems, the VRAS system by Microsoft, is simply too complex for many of these emergency management service organizations to use. We also found that many of them are having individuals fill out their immunization records manually by hand. During our customer solution process and our functional test you can see on the right, many of the workers there found our system very easy to use, taking them only 10 minutes to get up and running. Our customers are specifically state and county level emergency management service coordinators influenced by their CTOs and their CFOs. Here's the vaccination management market. We're going to start in Wisconsin, where we already have contacts in emergency management, and then branch out to the other 17 states in the US that use the Wisconsin Immunization Registry for their immunization records. From there, we'll branch out to the other 32 states in the US that use other immunization registries. Here's our value proposition. For emergency management service coordinators who need to vaccinate large portions of the population, MassVax provides a comprehensive turnkey solution. Unlike competitors that only handle pieces of the workflow, are too complex and do not scale. Here you can see our product. It is a 3-part system. The first for patients with registration and scheduling, the second for vaccinators to walk them through the vaccination process and to keep records, and the third for administrators to manage the site and conduct data analytics. Here you can see a sample of our patient registration workflow, where they walk through our system and get a QR code. Here you can see a sample of the vaccinator workflow, where they walk the patient through the vaccination process and a record is automatically submitted to the registry. Here you can see the administrator workflow, where they manage all the information coming in and out of the site. Here's our competitive analysis. We're mainly competing with pen and paper and other improvised solutions, which are reliable, they're simple, and they're affordable, but they're not scalable as the number of vaccination scales, and they're not integrated directly with the immunization registries. We're also competing with electronic systems like the CDC's VAMS and the Microsoft's VRAS. The VRAS system is the clear winner between the two. It's reliable, it's scalable, it's integrated with the systems, but it is not simple. It's too complicated for many of these organizations to use, and it's also prohibitively expensive. MassVax is reliable, scalable, integrated with the registries, simple and easy to use and set up, and we use a scaling pricing model so that any size organization can take advantage of our system. Here's our business model. We provide software and support to emergency management service organizations, and they provide vaccinations to their patients. Our sales will begin in HERC Region 7 of Wisconsin, where we're already working with emergency management organizations to test and pilot our software. From there, we will branch out to the other 6 regions in Wisconsin. From there, we will branch out to the other 17 states in the US that use the Wisconsin Immunization Registry, and then on to the other 32 states in the US that use other registries. Here you can see our PR campaign, where we've already reached out to over 600,000 people.
These are our 5-year financial projections. Our revenue is based on a 10-cent per vaccination model. We start in Wisconsin in year 1 and break into the other 17 states managed by the Wisconsin Immunization Registry in year 2. And that same year, we increase our spending in R&D to integrate with the other immunization registries, so that by years 3 and 4, we're dealing with most of the United States. Starting in year 3, our R&D and sales and marketing switch to a percentage of our revenue. These are advisors that are both business and software professionals. Here are our partners in emergency management in Wisconsin. For our learning plan, we want to monitor the future developments for vaccinations including boosters, the emergence of variants, and vaccines for these variants. We also want to streamline our sales process. For our ask, we currently have a team of very capable software developers, but would benefit from the expertise of experienced business professionals. We're asking for individuals for a business advisory board, as well as for sales consulting to develop a sales enablement ecosystem. Thank you. Here's our contact information if you'd like to reach out in the future, and please come to our demo.
Vendor, the online marketplace for collectors. I'm Cameron Chin, the lead designer, and I'm here alongside Alex Fromm, our head of finance, and John Bayman and Nick Schnaring, our two developers. We're a consumer-to-consumer marketplace that match a seller's items to collectible shoppers' wants and needs. Think of these current person-to-person community marketplaces, but with the matchmaking power of dating applications where apps cater results to individual interests.
There are over 8 million collectors in the US, and while interviewing 270 of them, we found that collectors have had a problem finding items they want and safely acquiring them. So, when a collector searches for an item, they either get a million pages of results and the item they want is buried, or their search was too specific and no one else has listed the item the way they searched for it. Most of the collectors we talked to had this type of problem. This has led to people gathering in private Facebook groups where they can deal with real people to try and find the items they want. But these communities lack the search options beginners find helpful. The other problem we found was safety. Almost all of the collectors we spoke to have been the target of a scam, even with current user protections that are in place. So what's to be done about it?
Our solution is to build a cross-platform mobile and web market that gives each collectible community its own unique search filters, accurate individualized recommendations, and protects its users through multiple forms of profile verifications. So here's a demonstration of our web version of this app. Users have the power to control their recommendations based on their select search filters that we plan to directly make from what the communities tell us they really want. Users then simply swipe right or left on an item they're interested in. We then use their likes and, more importantly, their dislikes to build a profile on users' interests, which let us give better recommendations back to the users. Once a user swipes right on a product, they'll be set up to directly talk to a seller to make that transaction happen. Lastly, Facebook has proven when having faces to names, people are held more accountable to make an overall safer experience. We don't believe this is enough. This is why we want to take this idea a step further by verifying users with all types of social media platforms, so users can be even more assured they're dealing with an actual identity. These solutions will improve item searching and scam prevention, which we found to be the two biggest community problems.
In order to implement these features, we plan to focus on one market at a time, starting with the trading card market and then expanding into other markets such as collectible toys, comic books, and collectible shoes. We intend to specifically focus on the trading card community because our customer discovery shows that they have the most problems with their current solution, and trading card games are experiencing a major boom right now. It also happens that myself and Cameron are already involved in these communities. Specifically, we're involved in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, which means we already have connections to the 55,000 players who are using consumer-to-consumer marketplaces. Here's our target user. We estimate there are about 55,000 people who are similar to Jeff that are active in this community and consistently buying and selling cards. We're in the data reselling business. By swiping, searching, and selling, our users will be generating data on their interests, preferences, and buying habits. Vendor then sells the data we collect so that marketing firms can use it. From talking to the data agency Axiom, we found that the data from the users we're targeting should sell for about $65 a year. If we could capture every trading card player, this would be a $500 million market. About 20% of the market is already using our competitors to trade amongst themselves, and about 1% of that market is in the communities our marketing will target. For collectible shoppers and sellers who need to make safe transactions, Vendor provides a platform that uniquely caters to each collectible community's wants and needs. Vendor differentiates itself through its individualized item recommendations, accurate search filters, and its user authentication. Vendor is the only platform that has individualized recommendations, a social media trust factor, no product promotion, and collectible search filters.
As previously stated, our target users are active community members. which means we can generate awareness through places the community gathers. Then the influencers they follow can endorse the product, leading to consideration, which we plan to convert to active users through our sign-up site. At this moment, we have built personal relations with a total of 6 influencers who run YouTube channels and or Facebook forums. The cost per promotions were generated by Social Bluebook. Combined with talking to them personally and looking at their metrics. Combined, we estimate that spending $40,000 in our first year would introduce 5,500 new users to the site. This is a look at our 5-year finances. I'd like to draw your attention to our users per year. We experience a large jump between year 1 and year 2, and then steady growth onward. That is because right now we're using our estimate for only trading card games. We expect to experience similar growth in further years as we add other collectible markets to our platform.
This is the rest of our team. Dennis is our backend developer who is currently employed at Twitch, and Jerry Adamski has been advising our team through RIT Student Accelerator. Over the course of this month, we'll be starting our marketing campaign and gaining traction on our mailing list site. This way, when we start our closed beta testing, we'll have an initial user base making transactions amongst each other. Because we plan to be launching soon, we greatly appreciate the experience of anyone who has published an app before, or who could assist us with gaining investment capital in the near future. If you'd like to participate in our follow-up meeting, please visit our website for more information. This was Team Vendor. Thank you for your time.
Hi, everyone. We are Cookie, the recipe management app for disorganized cooks. Let's meet the team. Hi, my name is Kevin Zhou. I'm the business director. We have Marcus Chung as the project manager, Daniel Chung as the front-end developer, and Andrew Lee as the back-end developer. Currently, there are 5 trillion recipes distributed among websites like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and allrecipes.com, but only about 5% of those are actually useful. Whether it's because of visuals, source of the recipe, or formatting issues. Put simply, there are too many recipes online. What's harder than finding a recipe you like? Remembering what website you found your recipe on. At least for an aspiring cook like myself, I don't know the difference between a good and a bad recipe. I often find myself comparing and contrasting recipes, screenshotting the ones I like, but losing them just as fast with no easy way to organize my recipes on my phone. Our solution, Cookie, is for our users to find recipes from their networks. If I'm looking for a quality Chinese dish, you can bet that I'm going to look at my family group chat for an authentic Chinese recipe. We also provide an automated organization system, sorting our recipes based on core ingredients, types of dishes, and so much more.
So going into our customer discoveries, so far we've talked to about 280 different people, and we found that generally speaking, people do prefer to talk to their friends and family before looking online for a recipe, especially when they know that somebody else has already cooked the dish. And once you get more and more recipes, people start to struggle with keeping all the recipes organized in an efficient way. Right here we have Ian Pearson, who we've defined as our aspiring cook and a target customer. An aspiring cook is someone who likes to cook new dishes, wants to improve their cooking skills, and generally enjoys the process from start to finish. And just like everyone else, he struggles to find recipes online, and he also loses them more than he keeps them. And right here we have Subtle Asian Cooking, which is a Facebook group where people come together, connect over Asian food. And there are a lot of people here, about 300,000, and they all post recipes of their dishes that they enjoy cooking. But it's to the point where it's almost impossible to find a recipe that you want to cook specifically. And there are a lot of other groups on Facebook that struggle with the same problem.
This is our app. What do you do when you find a recipe you like on the internet? Well, you use Cookie. As simple as pasting the link on the app, it will show you a preview of what the recipe looks like and allows you to save it. Saved recipes go into your cookbook, and all your saved recipe will automatically go into your personal cookbook that only you and your network can see. In addition to personal cookbooks, we also offer collaborative cookbooks. This is where you get to share, edit, and add recipes with your group of friends. We also allow you to view your friend's profile and their personal cookbooks. Lastly, we offer a filtering system for all cookbooks on Cookie. For instance, say you want to cook something with chicken, Then you'll get all possible recipes for chicken, and you can keep adding more filters to it until you find your desired recipe.
So on our competitive situation, we've defined most recipe apps into two categories, which are digital cookbooks like Paprika and Recipe Keeper, which look to save the recipes you have already, and recipe forums like Blogger and allrecipes.com, which are for finding new recipes from other people online. Cookie wants to bridge the gap between these two categories with the use of web import, automated organization, group cookbooks, and the ability to view your friends' personal cookbooks. And so for a value proposition, for aspiring cooks who struggle with finding, saving, and collaborating on recipes they like, Cookie is a social recipe manager app. Unlike Paprika, Cookie allows users to connect with friends and family.
For our market size, we start at the US recipe distribution market, which includes food recipe networks and cookbooks. We want to focus down into aspiring cooks, and from there, we want to focus down into people who actually pay for premium. Speaking of premium, we plan to have premium in our app, where free users have set cookbook size, set group size, and basic filtering, whereas premium users have unlimited cookbook size, unlimited group size, and advanced filtering. What this means for our business model is that customers are able to pay a premium fee to enhance their experience on our app. We are also in the data selling business, where we are able to gather users' data of their favorite cuisines and searches and sell that information to data brokers for sales revenue. For our marketing and sales, we are sponsoring influencers and Facebook groups like Chunk Eats and Subtle Asian Eats, who are very active with their community. We are also investing in Facebook targeted advertisement for users that search for recipe on Facebook to create brand awareness. We plan to launch a referral program in the second quarter where users can refer their friends for ballots to win prizes. We expect this to increase our user base by 30% monthly.
So going on to our 5-year projections, I would just like to point out our average revenue per user, which is what we expect to get from all of our users on a yearly basis, whether you're on a free account or a paid account. And for the users specifically, we expect them to grow dramatically over the years due to our use of referential marketing and just from the social elements on our app.
As for our learning plan, we are currently in talks with a legal expert to understand the legal ramifications of web scraping certain websites. In addition, we're also conducting experiments on our refer a friend method of referential marketing to see how useful it will be in the future. As for our ask, we are looking for a marketing expert to help us reach our different demographics, along with alpha testers to test our application when it launches. Thank you, and you can contact us at gocookie@gmail.com.
We are Emergency Record Solutions, fire records made simple everywhere. Emergency Record Solutions is a software development firm streamlining inspection reports for fire marshals. Our team currently consists of myself, Joe Calamari, co-founder and CTO, and David Pinelli, co-founder and CEO. So first, I want to bring you into the world of fire marshals. Their primary role is to conduct all building inspections in their district on a regular basis, and for each inspection that they do, they have to file a report with their local government. There are a few software solutions to help with this, but they're either only available as part of a bundled product that is out of their budget or just isn't customizable to the department's needs. So with such limited options, many marshals are forced to resort to pen and paper for these inspection reports. They then have to return to their office to re-enter those notes and upload any pictures they might have taken into the computer just to submit the report. Having to effectively fill out these reports twice leads to hours of wasted time each day, and for a frequently understaffed profession, it's critical to save as much time as possible. They also spend time scheduling these reports, responding to phone calls and emails from the public, and managing the district's building permits. And for high-growth cities in particular, their bureau cannot meet the staffing requirements to handle all these jobs, so they're ultimately forced to sacrifice the quality of their work, and even more importantly, they have to sacrifice the number of inspections that they can do in a given year. So we went out and conducted 187 interviews with fire chiefs, fire marshals, and other fire officials. Doing so, we found 51% of fire marshals were unhappy with the current reporting process. We also discovered that high-growth cities were struggling to meet the staffing needs and in turn, unable to sufficiently manage their increasing workloads. Fire Marshal Christopher Franzen mentioned how he feels his department is still in the stone age with technology and that they're actively trying to go all paperless. Corey Kalk, also a fire marshal, explained that since his city is growing so quickly and his office is so understaffed, they're actually unable to meet the required amount of inspections for the year. So this is Fire Marshal Franson from Burlington, Vermont. Again, these marshals spend most of their day doing field inspections, complete dozens of pen and paper reports each week, and can only submit these reports while they're at the station. In the remaining hours of the day, they conduct plan reviews and answer questions that they receive from the community. So here on the left is an example of a paper checklist that they might use in an inspection, in addition to any notes and pictures that they might have taken at the scene. And then on the right, we have our solution that automates the entire inspection workflow from the checklist to their notes and pictures, and finally submitting the report. This eliminates waste by allowing fire marshals to complete and submit the entire report all in one place, right at the scene of the inspection. And here we have our community portal solution to optimize the marshal's time. So here, individuals will be able to schedule their inspections, get answers to the questions without having to call or email the marshals directly, and they'll also be able to submit their plan review documentation for approval and get their permits all in one organized place.
So the total available Fire RMS software market is 84 million. Fire RMS with building inspection services is 29 million, and we're targeting building inspection services in high growth cities at 5 million. For fire marshals who need to eliminate hours of wasted time, Emergency Record Solutions provides budget-friendly software that manages the full inspection workflow, which reduces waste and cost, unlike current RMS solutions that are not accessible remotely or customizable. So for our competitive situation, we found that fire marshals typically buy through 4 avenues: remote, budget-friendly, efficient, and customizations. Our largest competitor is Firehouse by ESO, but they are price prohibitive and they do not offer customizations. Our business model is a simple SaaS business model where the local town or city will purchase our software, and in turn, the fire marshals will save time. So how do fire marshals learn about new software? We found through customer discovery that typically they learn of new vendors through word of mouth or trade shows. So in our first year, we plan on attending 3 trade shows: the Long Island Mega Show, FDIC International, and the New York Chiefs Association. So our marketing plan involves first creating exposures through trade shows and direct mail, then email follow-ups, and finally, direct sales involve calls or in-person demonstrations with departments. So for our 5-year P&L, our units are in annual subscriptions, and in the future, we plan on releasing additional modules.
So currently, we're working on deploying our first beta test with the department to validate our product's value and its usability. We're working directly with their fire marshals to also further understand how it can meet their needs. And moving forward, we're looking for more connections to fire departments to grow our beta test. We're also seeking people with expertise in sales to government agencies who would be willing to spend up to an hour to answer some questions that we have. Thank you for your time.